Well, welcome, Cowboy Nation, to another edition of the 3-Star Podcast, where we talk Cowboy baseball. And once again, here with Coach Ryan Nail. Coach, you guys are going to hit the ground running this week. There's no rest at all.
No, that's an understatement. We're wrapping up practice tonight. Tonight's Monday, and for the next 8 out of the next 9 business days, if you want to call it, we've got ball games to play.
So let's start off. First night is going to be on Tuesday night, tomorrow night. What do you have for kind of a rundown of Colonesco? What are we looking at when they come in?
They return some guys, some of their better hitters, some of their better pitchers for sure. This is, from all I can tell, this is the first meeting between Clarence Goldfield Dows and Colonesco, at least as far as varsity bound goes back. So I don't think we know much about them. They don't probably know a whole lot about us other than what last year's stats look like. And we return a lot of stats. They return a lot of stats. It's the first game for both of us. So we know that there's going to be mistakes made, and we know that things are going to start a little rusty, and you just want to be probably the least rusty team that night and, see some good things and be able to build off of those, especially, again, there's no rest until the next night. So we've got to figure out quickly where we're lacking and even some lineups and things like that of what's going to mesh well. And we'll have obviously some different lineups this week depending on who's pitching and who's there and who's not there and all that stuff. And, everyone knows we've got to take pitch count into account. And so we will keep doing that, keep pressing forward, keep kids healthy, and, try to compete on a nightly basis.
So I would real quick touch on the pitch count. For those that don't know how the rule is, what exactly goes on with that?
I won't get exactly into the numbers because I'll probably get them wrong if I try to say them off the top of my head. But every pitcher is given a certain amount of pitches, and it's a range. If they pitch from 0 pitches to 25 pitches in a night, then they don't need a day's rest. But if they would turn around and pitch the next day, then the last 2 days combine together, and then it gets up to 40 or 45, and then 65, and then 90, and then 110, and at each of those is another day's rest. So we really have to evaluate on a nightly basis of where we currently are in that game and where we are as far as pitch counts, and really look into what we still have left this week and all that good stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, and unfortunately it's not something that's able to be communicated very well, but there might be nights where we have to take a kid out, and because of one reason or another, pitch count, they've reached it, and so forth, even though it really feels like they're grooving through the game. If they throw a lot of pitches, it's hard to keep them in the whole game, and then we have to make our adjustments there by what's coming up this week and what they've done. And again, there's some rules in the first half of the season for 8th and 9th graders. They have to stay out under a total amount, and so do the upperclassmen. And then I think once we get into the second or third week, then that total amount for the week kind of goes out the window. But a day-to-day total is something that we have to keep in mind.
All right, let's go ahead and jump again to the next game, which will be on Wednesday. You guys hit the road.
Yeah, we're in Eldora taking on South Hardin, and that is one that we've played the last 2 years and played well. The first year got rained out, and last year I think we lost 9-5 or something along those lines, and didn't really pitch well to start the game, and I think it was our third game of the week rather than our second game, and ended up dropping that one. So that's definitely one that we're looking forward to. I think it's definitely one that teams are very comparable, and it's one that we want to be able to see some improvement from last year to this year.
And then we jump ahead to Thursday, back home again against Manson Northwest Webster.
Yeah, that was kind of a late add. We had one game that got dropped this off season, and so I was talking to their athletic director during basketball, and thought it would be a good matchup to get on the calendar, and that was a day that worked for both of us. Again, they're returning some guys from last year on their roster. They've got a good amount of pitching, and again, you just never really know what you're going to get the first week between you got state golf and you got our golfers trying to get to state, and you've got state track at the end of the week, and you really never know, but it's a good opportunity to get a jump start on seeing where your team's at for the year.
And then back on the road once again on Friday, and that one is at Forest City. The Indians, always kind of a tough team to play.
Yeah, very, very well coached, good athletes, great athletes up there, some really good baseball players. That was one last year, that kind of stung a little bit, and we had a good chance to win that game, and lost that by one run in the last inning or so. So, again, you don't ever really mark games on your calendar, but that's one that, still left a sour taste in our mouth from last year. And, we know we have a good opportunity to win that game, and we're really looking forward to that one.
We go ahead to next week. You've got at home against Esterville Lincoln Central. The Midgets, they've had a pretty solid program, I know, over the years. But I want to jump ahead to cross-county rival Eagle Grove. That's going to be a game at Eagle Grove on Tuesday night.
Yeah, some really good games the last 2 years against them. It kind of reminds you of the old Iowa State rivalry, where it really doesn't matter how your team's doing or who they've got back. It's just always going to be a competitive game because, each team really wants to win. So, and rightfully so. So we will, look forward to that. But we've got 2 conference games following that as well. So again, we've got to keep some different things in mind when it comes to that as far as pitching's concerned. But it's our goal to go out every night and win the game and then figure out the next one after that. So, like you said, we have Esterville on Monday. I think they're preseason ranked number 7. Last year they were a state tournament team. So yeah, they're a tough team and will continue to be so. But last year we went up there, and that's a pretty long trek when we're still in school. So we're happy it's at home on our turf and get another shot at a really high quality team.
We spoke about starting conference play. Of course, the first matchup of the season, as far as the North Central Conference goes, is going to be against St. Edmunds at home, and that is kind of a preview of what we're going to see at the Field of Dreams. Yeah,
that's our home game against them, and when they host us, that'll actually be out at the Field of Dreams and not over in Fort Dodge. So we'll have, I think, again, we were very evenly matched last year. We split the games, and I kind of look forward to that again this year. So we really look hard to compete against them and have a good idea of what things will look like when we head over to Dyersville. But again, it's baseball. Things change on the nightly, on the weekly, and we could have 2 totally different pitching matchups when we go over to Dyersville. So we just we want to make sure that we compete and really feel like hopefully these first couple of conference games are 2 that we can start out on top.
Now, when we talk about the Field of Dreams real quick, the tickets still available for that?
Yes, absolutely. We've cut off T-shirt sales just because we have to get those ordered. There may be a few extra available at the game if we have some extras. But, tickets are still available for $10 each. And also, if you want to would rather ride over on a charter bus than take your own vehicle over, those tickets are still available. And you can find both of those to purchase at cgdbaseball.org.
Well, last Friday we had the opportunity to do a Meet the Team. I thought it was a great night. Weather it had rained up until about noon or so, and then, boom, perfect night for baseball.
Yeah, it really turned out to be a really cool event. The weather turned out perfect. It got a little chilly at the end, but I think that's a little bit better than hot and humid. So from what I hear, the meal was great. I was kind of too busy running around to try anything, but lots of people there, lots of kids there. There was some caveats here and there, but things we can learn on, and we definitely want to make this an annual event. So we'll grow off of that for next year and plan on that. And our newly formed Diamond Club was out there handing out summer programs and serving the meal and letting kids know what was coming up and parents know what's coming up. And, it was good to have them out there as a group for the first time.
Well, Coach, speaking of the Diamond Club, we have somebody may have a little bit of insight on that here with us.
Yeah, our president, Greg Sweeney, is here, and I'm going to, turn things over to him and let him speak on behalf of the Diamond Club. It's been so far a great transition from being an idea that was in my head to now a fully formed 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we've got a dozen people on the board, and it's all for the direction of baseball and softball, from the little ones all the way up to the high school kids in our community.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us, and we will talk with you again real soon.
Thank you very much.
Well, El Presidente, nice to have you joining us here today.
Thanks, Dave. Nice to be here.
So let's talk about the Diamond Club. First off, what is, if people don't know what it is, and they may be living in a cave or under a rock, because we've talked about it a lot, what would that be?
Well, the Diamond Club has evolved a little bit, obviously, from like Ryan just mentioned. So about 30 days ago, we got our nonprofit status. So we are officially our own nonprofit. In the past, we were rolled kind of under Sports Boosters, running through their nonprofit, kind of getting built up through what Ryan had started originally. So this winter, there was a lot of interest in the community. We developed a board, elected officers, got our nonprofit status, and we are full-fledged going forward in regards to supporting softball and baseball in the communities of Clarion Goldfield Dows.
So it's not just, just to make sure everybody understands, it's not just high school, junior varsity, and varsity sports, middle school sports. It involves all baseball and softball in the communities.
Correct. It involves, from the beginning of youth level when, Scott Simmons starts them with rec, all the way through varsity levels in high school. So we felt like that was important in regards to the success of the baseball and softball programs long term. If you have a good, strong youth pipeline, generally you're going to have good, strong junior varsity and varsity programs.
Helps to build that excitement at that lower level also, so you keep kids involved all the way up through.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to be a member, what do they have to do?
So we have a very simple website to date. So if you look up CGD Diamond Club, there's a website there where you can sign up for a membership. There's different membership levels and some different gifts and things that you can obtain on the different levels. We'll also, at most of our home games, we plan on having a table there because we're also doing some other stuff that we'll get into. But and we'll have membership information there as well. And obviously we'll have a couple of board members there at the table to be able to answer questions and have discussions and find out more about it if you choose to do so.
Now, when you talked about the different levels, what are some of those levels?
Yep. So the current levels are our all-star level, which is a $100 annual donation. Then it goes to our MVP level at $150. Hall of Fame level at $200. We have a business level, which also kind of ties in with the outfield banners. And then our legendary level, which is $500 a year. And on the website, you can get set up for monthly direct withdrawal. It can be a one-time donation. You can hand any board member a check, and we'll get it entered and get the credit to you as well. So
it's not something that they have to have a child involved. It just they have to want to be involved.
Correct, absolutely.
Now, you were talking about when the tables are set that there's going to be some other things going on there as well. You want to touch on that a little bit more, please? Yeah.
So we got some pretty exciting stuff going on to kick off the baseball season. So at home games, we're going to be doing a couple things. So we got, number one, we're helping the teams we're doing kids captains this year. So we're, for some of the home games, we're going to have the younger level kids come in, be involved with the team, throw out first pitch, things like that. So we're taking... getting kids signed up for that. Second thing, obviously is the membership information. Then we also have a really cool fundraiser that we're doing. So we had a iCub Skybox donated to the Diamond Club by DeKalb Basgrow and New Co-op, and we are selling raffle tickets for that. So it's a Skybox and an iCubs game. Games in August. You know, if you've ever been to one of those, or it's great. You can sit inside, you can sit outside.
They are amazing, I have to say. The only thing that was better was being in the PA booth, but other than that, no, the boxes are amazing, because when I was used to go down with a company I was with, and we would sit inside initially. We'd have a few snacks or whatever, and then I'm all about being outside for baseball, so I would get out there and sit out in front, and it was an amazing thing to go through. If you haven't had a chance, this is an opportunity.
Yeah, no, as I find as I get older, those August games and late July games, the air conditioned side of it in the afternoon is pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, so there's that's really cool, and we'll have additional information on that at the games. And then we're also going to be doing some other stuff. We're going to be doing some 50-50 raffles. We might do some additional meals and stuff for home games, and we'll have a sheet where we don't have a newsletter developed yet, but we'll might have a newsletter or some updates when we're doing activities. If you want to get signed up, get your email on there. Not that you got to donate, but just so you're getting the information so you know what's coming up. We'll have a sign-up sheet at the table as well.
Now, going back real quick to the membership amounts, you made mention that they can do a monthly withdrawal from the bank. Yep. You don't have to worry about just ponying up the cash all at once.
Correct. It can be set up a couple different ways. It's pretty flexible, and obviously, there's no minimum amount. But obviously, we have the levels for different things that we're doing, along with some additional opportunities where we're getting some cowboy and cowgirl cups made up that we're going to sell, and the certain membership levels get some of those gifts as well.
Now, when you talk about that, the cost, if you figure the cost of $100 out over a year, what do they do on TV? Oh, yeah, they always mention it's cheaper than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Not that I know, because I don't drink coffee or go to, but, we're not promoting any one brand, but it'd be cheaper than a cup of coffee that direction. So anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I'd just like to share our mission statement.
Absolutely.
I feel like mission statements, what's our goal, what's our purpose, where are we going? We got a lot of things on the docket that we want to get to, but it all takes time. But the board felt that it was important to develop a mission statement so we never lose focus of what the organization is there for. So the mission statement we adopted is fostering the growth and development of youth through high school baseball and softball in the CGD communities.
That's awesome. I'm very excited about it. I know I could get my membership in. Actually, I have not yet, but I had last year. I was a part of that, and to me, if you can get young kids excited and involved, and part of that is also making sure they have the right things, the right items, and that's what's some of the stuff that the Diamond Club takes care of.
Yeah, so the Diamond Club to date, has purchased a lot of equipment, jerseys. Pretty much it's been for mainly the high school baseball program today. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously we want to expand that to softball, and we're expanding that to youth. But there's Rapsodo machine that was purchased, I believe, about a year ago or 6 months ago. There's some bats, some different equipment. I mean, baseball's not a cheap sport to participate in.
You said bats, and bats, if you've not gone out and bought a new piece of equipment such as a bat, you're gonna see sticker shock, because it's not these aren't $25, $30 bats. These are $300, $400, $500 bats that keep that, and people are like, really? But it really does help keep the kids competitive.
Absolutely. And I was on the internet looking some stuff up the other night, and just to quantify things for people. So, roughly in the CGD school district, we have about 1,000 kids in the school district, in school. Today, with what Scott Simmons has done with the rec program, he's got over 250 kids involved between softball and baseball. Middle school practices start today, so I know they don't know how many kids are out yet, but roughly about 100 kids in the middle school and high school programs, maybe a little less. But out of that 1,000 kids in the school district, Dave, we got 350 of them approximately, so a third are involved in baseball and softball. So that would make it the number one sport.
And I will tell everybody, because I remember when Mr. Nelson came on as the superintendent, we were talking about baseball. He goes, "You really love this sport, don't you?" And I said, baseball has always been my favorite sport. Hands down, because it's a chance for kids to be out in the sun playing, doing something in the summertime, whether it's practice, whether it's games. It doesn't really, just they're active. They're not sitting in front of a TV. They're not staring at a screen all the time. They're out actually interacting with different people and getting the exercise. And it's not just physical toughness, but mental toughness that goes along with it.
Absolutely. And it's, a lot of fun, be involved with rec ball when the kids were little, be involved with travel ball, then getting into the school ball. I mean, it's just, we look forward. We turned into a baseball family, and we look forward to that baseball and softball season every summer.
I do as well. And, well, you know what? We invite everybody to stop by, come out to one of the games, and make sure you stop by the table, check out the Diamond Club, see what they have to offer. Thank you very much, Greg. Anything else you'd like to add?
Nope. Thanks for having me, Dave, and look forward to a successful season.
All right. Go Cowboys!